What's up, good people? Welcome to another video. I'm Rob Stewart, and I'm here to help you get your skin and your overall health back on track. Today, I'm going to be answering a few questions that are coming from my online course. So question number one that we're going to be focusing on today is constipation with the carnivore diet, which seems to be something that some people go through. Question is, Rob, since starting the diet, I am now struggling to poo. Any suggestions that will help? So constipation on a carnivore diet is a pretty straightforward process. There's a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, first you have to determine is, am I really constipated? So I'm going to give you my definition of constipation. Constipation to me means that you have a poop that is ready to go. It's sitting in the chamber. The torpedo's ready to fire. You can feel it in the launch position. It's big, it's strong, it's there. And no matter how much you try, no matter how much you push, you just cannot get it out. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right. And it is something that maybe has bloating and extra gas associated with it. That's what constipation is. What constipation is not is just pooping less in the beginning of a new diet or pooping less in general. Here's what I see. Many times when people start a carnivore diet, they're obviously removing the plant foods. Plant foods have a ton of fiber and different nutrients that pass right through the human body, making our poop sizes much, much bigger and the volume much, much bigger. And that desire to poop much, much higher. When you have a ton of plant foods and carbohydrates and fiber and all of this in your body, in the morning, you wake up and you want to poop. And when you go to take a poop, it generally just comes out in a big log. When you stop eating fiber and when you stop eating the nutrients from plant foods, all you really have left over is the exact nutrients that the body can digest and assimilate with great ease. So what happens is when you're actually taking a poop on a carnivore diet, there's very little waste to be had. The volume of poop is just not there. So many people experience not having to poop as often. So that's number one. First, determine for your own sake, am I really constipated or am I not constipated? And if you're not constipated, then you can just relax and understand that, hey, I'm just pooping less and it will probably normalize later on. Daily poop is normal for most of my clients that are on a carnivore diet, an animal-based diet, or the lion diet. There's very seldom, once they get used to it, do people miss days of pooping. But here's the thing. If you as an individual miss a day here and there of pooping and your digestion otherwise is on point, it's not really something I would worry about. Now let's talk a little bit about if you actually are having some constipation on a carnivore diet. There are a couple things that you can do. Thing number one, and most people kind of forget to do this, but check your hydration levels. If you're really dehydrated, it will affect your digestion in a negative way. It will make it so that taking your daily poop, even if you have a ton of fiber in your diet, will be challenging. And just to caveat this, most of you guys turning to a carnivore diet or an animal-based diet or a lion diet, you're turning to these diets to help you heal from something. The people who I work with were using it as a method to customize the diet in order to help people facilitate healing eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, and rosacea. That's what I do. That's how I help people, customizing the diet. So people turn to a healthy diet in order, the carnivore diet or an animal-based diet in order to heal. Staying hydrated, drinking enough water, adding electrolytes can solve the issue for some people just straight up. Another thing that you can do is check in with your macros. Now, many people don't even think about their macros when they're doing carnivore or animal-based because you really don't have to. It's one of those diets where you can be more intuitive than other approaches. But if it's not working, you may need to make some adjustments. The easiest adjustment to make in order to facilitate non-constipation, so getting your poop flowing, is drastically upping your fats into a ketogenic range or just higher than you are normally eating. Many times constipation comes from people who are eating the super lean cuts of protein. We're talking turkey and chicken, things like lean ground beef, and they do not have the fat in their diet. So the bile production's not happening, and their body is just low on water content, low on fat content, and just not able to produce the bile and the necessary lubrication to push out the poop with ease. So another easy fix is to just simply get your fat much higher. You can go all the way up to the 70% plus range. So a true ketogenic, carnivore, animal-based style diet many times can help. Another thing that you can do is look into your physical fitness. If you are sedentary and constipated, there's a big correlation there. Getting some movement in, the trampoline, the daily walk, doing the Thai squat, and starting to open up that pathway of elimination, starting to make your pelvic floor a little bit healthier, to make that colon and that rectum and the intestines use gravity and use the twisting of your body and the motion of your body to create some flowing down there. It may seem very straightforward, but you'd be surprised. I had a client not too long ago who was having major constipation issues. We didn't change any part of her diet at all, but what she did is she jumped on the mini trampoline for 2 minutes every morning, and she did the Thai squat on and off many times throughout the day. And for those of you who don't know what the Thai squat is, it's when you just pop a squat with your heels on the ground. If you're not flexible enough, you can hold on to something, and you just rest and relax down in that deep squatting position. It looks like this. By adding the Thai squat and doing the rebounding, her constipation issues went away 100% completely. So for her, it was more of a circulation and a metabolic issue. Make sure you're metabolically healthy. It's going to help your digestion. It's going to help your constipation. If you're on the carnivore diet and you're having major issues with constipation, make sure that you exercise, that you get some movement in, and give some rebounding or the Thai squat or some sort of circulatory system help for your lower body, whatever that may be. And the last thing that you can do if you're on a carnivore diet or a lion diet or an animal-based diet and you're having issues with constipation is stop being carnivore. Stop doing the lion diet. By customizing the diet, you can actually find what plant foods will work for you. Most of the clients that I work with, fruit works really well. If you're having constipation issues and you start to add fruit into the diet, it can make a huge difference right away. Boom, get things moving, add some water to the diet, add some easy to digest fiber. And out of all of the plant foods, for those of you carnivore dieters who are really afraid of eating plant foods, I tell you what, I have hardly any clients ever, and I've worked with well over 3,000 people who have issues with fruit. Now, some people need to manage their fruit intake because of the carbohydrate load that doesn't work for them, but 1 piece or 2 pieces of fruit per day keeps your carbs pretty damn low anyway and can take away your constipation. So in review, if you're someone who's struggling with constipation on a carnivore and lion diet, here's the order of things to do. Number 1, determine if you're actually having constipation or not. Remember, when we remove all the fiber from our diet, there's going to be a lot less poop that comes out of our body. Our body can digest and assimilate the proteins and the fats from the animal foods really easy, and it just creates not much waste. If you are not struggling to take a poop, you're just pooping a lot less and the poops are a lot smaller. That's pretty normal, especially at the beginning of a carnivore diet. Number 2, what are your macros like? If your fat percentage is super low with your animal-based diet, upping your fats dramatically or just a little can start to get the party moving down there with relative ease. Another thing to think about is your hydration. If your hydration and electrolyte balances are completely out of whack, there's a good chance that you will not be pooping no matter how much fiber you have or no matter how much fat you get into your diet. Make sure your electrolytes and your hydration are on point. Another factor is your circulation and your basic health down there. Are you exercising? Are you taking any walks? Are you doing any rebounding? You got to help that situation out down there sometimes with the other things that have nothing to do with related to food. Many times adding a workout can really get the process started down there. Long walks, rebounding, the Thai squat, just to name a few. And lastly, You don't have to be too dogmatic. Fruit works for almost all of my clients. A teeny tiny bit of fruit added to a carnivore diet many times can eliminate the digestion issues associated with constipation from the carnivore diet.